The movie begins with a rural setting in New Zealand, where the story unfolds around two brothers, Henry and Angus, on their family sheep farm. The narrative explores themes of family conflict, trauma, scientific experimentation, and the consequences of unethical genetic testing. The film opens with scenes of Henry and Angus riding dirt bikes with their father, showcasing Henry's exceptional skill with sheep. Their bond is strained by jealousy and rivalry, particularly as Angus attempts to assert dominance after the father's passing. The pivotal moment occurs when Angus kills Henry's pet sheep in a malicious act, which leaves Henry deeply traumatized. The trauma prompts Henry to leave the farm and move to the city, seeking to escape the haunting memories of his childhood. After 15 years, Henry returns to the farm intending to sell his share to Angus, who is now deeply involved in cutting-edge but questionable genetic research on sheep. Henry's return stirs old wounds and suspicion. He finds the farm in disrepair, and his brother is dramatically different, more sinister and secretive. Henry's encounter with Mrs. Mack, the housekeeper, reveals that Angus is conducting experiments aimed at creating superior sheep, which has turned the animals into bloodthirsty, mutated killers. Meanwhile, environmental activists Grant and Experience sneak onto the farm, uncovering evidence of covert genetic research. They discover that Angus has been experimenting on sheep, trying to enhance wool and milk production, but with disastrous and violent results. The story progresses. It becomes evident that these experiments have resulted in the creation of mutant sheep that are aggressive, erratic, and deadly. The mutation is shown to be caused by genetic tinkering, with sheep exhibiting violent behavior and physical mutations such as enlarged size and aggressive tendencies. Grant and Experience evade the mutated sheep after stealing a container with genetically altered lambs, revealing the dark side of Angus' scientific pursuits. Henry, along with Experience and Tucker, an ally, confronts the horrifying reality of the experiments. They witness the transformation of sheep into monstrous, bloodthirsty creatures. The investigations uncover the extent of Angus's unethical research, including grotesque images of dissection and experimentation. The mutations not only affect the animals, but also begin to infect the humans involved. Grant becomes partially sheep and exhibits bizarre behavior, while Tucker's foot turns into a sheep hoof due to infection. Throughout the film, Angus's obsession with creating superior sheep strains becomes unsettling, culminating in his attempt to showcase his genetic miracle during a public speech. However, the mutant sheep, now violent and uncontrollable, attack the audience just as Angus begins his presentation, exposing his unethical experiments to the world. In the chaos, Henry, Experience, and Mrs. Mack try to escape, but the situation deteriorates rapidly. Angus himself begins to transform, and the farm becomes a battleground between humans and the genetically altered sheep. Henry realizes that he has been bitten by Grant, which sets the stage for his impending transformation. Angus's transformation into a full sheep monster symbolizes the consequences of unchecked scientific hubris. The climax involves a race against time to destroy the mutant sheep and stop Angus from becoming entirely sheep-like. With the arrival of Tucker bearing an antidote, the characters fight to save themselves and the remaining sheep from destruction. Angus, despite his injuries, refuses to surrender and tries to escape, but his plans are thwarted when the experimental virus infects him fully, transforming him into a mutant sheep monster. The group manages to trap and incinerate the mutant sheep in a warehouse, putting an end to the chaos. The movie concludes with the farm dog, the only character uninfected by the mutation, watching over the scene. The dog was bitten earlier and remains the sole survivor not affected by the experimental virus. The ending raises questions about the ethics and justification of the experiments, the motivations of Angus in seeking to honor his father's legacy through scientific advancement, and the overarching theme of human hubris in manipulating nature. The film prompts viewers to reflect on whether the scientific experimentation was justified, considering the tragic consequences. It also explores Angus's motivations, whether he was genuinely trying to make his father proud or simply driven by a reckless obsession with progress. The story serves as a cautionary tale, warning against the dangers of unethical scientific practices and the unforeseen consequences they can unleash. The narrative underscores the importance of moral responsibility in scientific endeavors and highlights the devastating impact that unchecked ambition, jealousy, and obsession can have on individuals and the community. Throughout the movie, the characters demonstrate resilience and ingenuity in their fight against the mutated creatures. The ultimate message emphasizes the necessity of ethical boundaries in scientific research and the devastating fallout when those boundaries are crossed. The film's blend of horror, science fiction, and tragedy creates a compelling warning about the perils of playing God with nature. The ending, with only the farm dog remaining unaffected, symbolizes the survival of innocence and the potential consequences of human recklessness in the pursuit of progress. The story concludes with reflection and an open question about morality and scientific responsibility, inviting viewers to consider the broader implications of genetic engineering and the ethical limits that must be maintained. The film acts as a metaphor for the broader dangers of scientific hubris and the tragic fallout when humanity oversteps nature's boundaries. This detailed examination of the plot, character motivations, thematic elements, and moral questions underscores the movie as a stark reminder of the potential risks associated with genetic experimentation. It emphasizes the importance of responsibility, caution, and ethical integrity in scientific pursuits, warning that pushing the boundaries without regard for consequences can lead to catastrophic outcomes. The narrative serves as both horror entertainment and a philosophical reflection on the limits of human knowledge and control over nature, urging a cautious approach to scientific discovery and innovation.